From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is a Carolina Week Election Special.
It's election night here on campus, and the big prize is Student Body President. Good evening, I'm Alex Giles. Welcome to this special edition of Carolina Week.
And I'm Avery Harper. We'll have complete coverage tonight, including the winner. The BOE has expressed that there has been some technical difficulties with counting votes, so you'll have to bear with us. We'll have complete coverage here tonight, and that is if there is a winner, and a runoff is a definite possibility.
The student body president is important, right? But do students know who the current president is? Not those running today, but the current student body president.
Oh, I've seen him on Facebook.
I do not know.
This is really bad.
I really don't know.
Because everyone has the profile pictures of his face.
Can I say I don't know?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay, I have no idea.
Who is the current student body president?
Will Limenstall.
That's right, Will Limenstall. That's the student body president. Limenstall winning last year's runoff election. He received more than 60% of the vote, beating out opponent Calvin Lewis Jr. With a year of presidency under his belt, Limenstall has had his share of highs and lows. I sat down with him as he reflected on his time in office. When Will Limenstall took the oath of office last year, he was full of optimism and innovative ideas. The 3 E's, he called them: efficiency, equity, and environment.
When you look at things through that framework of efficiency, equity, and environment, you find solutions that are perhaps more holistic.
Now, a year later, Limenstall says he's accomplished many of those goals. Website money.unc.edu is going live this week. It's all about the first 2 E's, efficiency and equity. The site will put all scholarships, fellowships, and grant opportunities in one computer-friendly space. Limenstall says he's excited to see it.
That just levels the playing field for a lot of students who otherwise wouldn't know about those scholarship opportunities, but are perfectly qualified for them.
And he says the last E, environment, has been a highlight too. Composting is now available at 3 dorms at UNC.
Composting is the next frontier after recycling, and so I'm really happy that we're moving into the next frontier of waste reduction.
But it hasn't all been great for Limenstall. Limenstall says the deaths of students Faith Hedgepeth and David Shannon were low points in his presidency.
They just hit me harder than I expected them to, and I think that's just really difficult.
And the visibility that comes with his presidency has been hard to get used to.
I don't necessarily enjoy being in the spotlight that much.
Overall, Limenstall says he's cherished the year he spent serving the student body, but there are still things on his presidential to-do list before he leaves office, including training the new SBP and meeting men's basketball coach Roy Williams.
The one person that I have not met that I really wanted to meet in this role was Roy Williams. I haven't met him.
Joining us now is Nathan D'Ambrosio, co-editor of the Daily Tar Heels opinion page. Nathan, we appreciate you being here with us tonight.
Happy to be here, Alex.
Good, good. Nathan, tell me, what qualities do you look for in a student body president?
Well, the student body president has a lot of roles he or she has to accomplish, so there's quite a few things we look for. And we were determining who we were going to endorse. We considered all of these facets of what makes a good student body president. One of which is the idea of professionalism. Student body president is really the most visible advocate for students, so he or she has to be able to convey a sense of professionalism and seriousness, as well as knowledgeability of all campus issues and things that affect students, so that he or she can better advocate for students with important actors.
Absolutely.
Obviously, also, the student body president is the head of the executive branch, so he or she has to have a high-quality team to work with that he or she can manage well. So you need management skills, and you need to know who you can have in your team to get things done. Finally, they need to be able to connect with students and then take that connection to the Board of Governors and the Board of Trustees to make sure that students' needs are really visible to those who control what happens to students.
And how important is that role of the student body president in terms of, making a voice for students on campus?
Well, as I said, he's really, or she is really the most visible voice for students on campus. So in the absence of a student body president, there's no one real central figure to represent students' interests. So it's important that there be someone that administrators and the Board of Trustees can look to and listen to and sort of bounce ideas off of to make sure that students are getting a say in what's happening.
We've seen it in years past over and over again, but what are the chances of a runoff election in this election tonight?
Well, I can't remember an election that wasn't a runoff election, and especially with 5 candidates in the race, it's really unlikely that anyone is going to come out with more than 50% of the vote.
Mm-hmm. Well, you heard it from Nathan D'Ambrosio. Thank you for joining us here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And coming up next, we'll introduce you to the 5 candidates that are hoping to claim a victory in tonight's election.
Stay with us. We'll have the results first here on this special election edition of Carolina Week.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards.
Oh, don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no?
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Oh, Mom!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you. Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. We're live in Carroll Hall awaiting the 2013 UNC election results. But first, we want to remind you who's on the ballot for student body president.
We've profiled each candidate and we'll be presenting them to you in alphabetical order. First up, Kevin Claiborne. Vanessa Martinez has the story.
You may remember him from the fight for gender-neutral housing, or from the Provost Committee for the LGBTQ life, or as one of the current candidates for student body president. But what can Kevin Claiborne bring to the table that the other candidates don't?
I have experience. I think I've already discussed, hard issue that no one wants to talk about with the Board of Trustees members, with student government.
Claiborne feels being a women's studies major brings him perspective on issues affecting all students.
Women's studies provides me with a critical lens of looking at life, specifically at gender, and specifically looking at how, gender, race, class, and these other identities impact each other.
If elected, Claiborne wants to take a lead on these issues.
As a student body president, I can engage with the communities, enact policies, enact programs, to have some type of conversation and then empower them, because we know once we have an empowered Tar Heel, we have a better Tar Heel community.
No matter who wins, Claiborne says he wants the voice of UNC students to be heard.
I'm here live with candidate Kevin Claiborne. Kevin, how are you feeling right now as they're counting the votes?
I'm just truly excited. I've had the wonderful opportunity of working with a lot of candidates trying to, become student body president. I know a lot of hard work has been put into it. So just really excited to see who's going to be elected for student body president next year.
What is something you feel like you've learned from our current student body president, Will Limenstall?
Well, working with Will as the student coordinator of the Journal of Civic Housing Campaign, I really had a wonderful opportunity to see what a student body president can do as in that role and be a mouthpiece for an issue. So having that experience with him has really shown me, the world that a student body president can have, and I'm really excited that I had the opportunity to work with him, especially because he opened up the door for Journal of Civic Housing to happen by allowing us to have that board of trustees meeting.
Thank you, Kevin. Back to you guys, Alex and Avery.
Thanks, Vanessa. Christy, Landon is the next student body president hopeful, and he's definitely an out-of-state student.
Absolutely, Avery. He comes to Carolina from across the pond in Great Britain. Jessica Marker caught up with him while he took a break from campaigning.
Christy Lambden says if he's elected, tackling the cost of coming to UNC will be his main goal.
Now, I do this by not just looking at tuition, but by looking at the whole package of coming to university, considering fees, considering the cost of housing, considering books, and considering food.
He says his time serving on the Student Fee Audit Committee has prepared him to lead the fight to keep costs low.
That's going to help me moving into next year when we're considering particularly the financial side of the university. That's very much where my background is.
But he says he's not afraid to ask for help when it comes to things such as the sexual assault policy.
Now, I think at the same time, student government has to accept that we're not experts in every area, and that there are some people who have more expertise on this subject than we do.
He says his campaign has focused on making sure that all voices are heard, and it's led him to gain favor with many on campus.
We've had a great couple of weeks. We've got a lot of endorsements, and we've tried to unify campuses as best we can, and I think we've achieved that to a large extent.
He's prepared to lend a hand, even if he loses the race.
I hope that I'm elected, but if I'm not, I will be reaching out to the newly elected student body president as soon as they are elected to offer my help in any way that I can.
Put in a lot of work over the past 3 weeks, and I'm really excited about seeing who gets elected.
And what do you think the university will need in the next chancellor?
Well, I think the university needs a chancellor who's going to stand up for what the students need and deserve going into next year. We need a chancellor who's going to represent students and is willing to listen to students and what they want going into next year.
Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Back to you, Alex and Avery.
Thank you, Jessica. We apologize for that technical difficulty. Well, our next candidate, Rob Jones, is eyeing the student body president seat, and he says his transfer experience, sports background, and love for UNC is going to get him there.
Kiara Palmer reports.
Student body president!
Rob Jones spent the last 5 days campaigning in the cold. The exercise and sports science major says if elected, he will implement plans that will better unite the student body.
I don't like when students miss out on something they're passionate about, so I'm trying to create this central hub so they can have that information. They can get it to their smartphone, they can get it to their computer. Just like this one place where they can go and say, what's going on at Carolina, how can I get connected?
Jones is also looking at some tough topics facing UNC students, like campus safety and sexual assault.
We need to address that as an entire community, not just administrators. Rewrite that so we protect the people who have the courage to come up and tell their story.
Jones also wants to strengthen the relationship between the new chancellor and student body.
We're going to create a fireside chat with the new chancellor. So think like a maybe 3 to 5 minute YouTube video once a month, just kind of an update, like a little address to the student body.
With goals for an improved UNC app, stronger one card, and extended library hours for exam week, Jones says the student presidency is not all about the platforms.
But it's leading with a purpose, and it's the ability to motivate a team. And I think I can do that really well. We're going to accomplish some big things next year.
Hi, I'm Kiara Palmer, and I'm here with candidate hopeful Rob Jones. Rob, the polls close at 8 o'clock. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling good, really excited. It's been a long couple of weeks, so once 8 o'clock hit, we were happy we did everything we could, and we're excited to see what's going to be the results.
Let's talk about your first day as presidency. What is the first thing you're going to tackle?
I think the first thing we need to address for me personally is going to be sexual assault. Continue the conversation we're having, and then make sure everything's flowing with a tangible plan to see the results we want to see with the next administration.
All right, sounds good. I'm Kiara Palmer. Back to you, Avery and Alex.
Thank you, Kiara. Will Lindsay started working with student government his freshman year at UNC, and he began working for the Senate his sophomore year.
Now he hopes that he'll be able to use that experience to lead Carolina. Our Marilyn Payne talked with Lindsay.
Will Lindsay, the student body president!
Will Lindsay says his student body president campaign is based on his two greatest passions, public service and Carolina. His background's in both. Lindsay's local and his parents are both alumni. He served on the executive branch of student government, student congress, the NC Attorney General staff, and the Interfraternity Council.
I love Carolina. I love being around the area, and I also love public service, be it at the federal, state, voluntary level. So when I got involved with student government at UNC, it was very much about intersecting my passions.
Among the things Lindsay would like to do if he becomes president are better connect UNC to the state legislature, reform advising, increase course availability, and work for faculty retention.
I've done a lot of policy-based, student government-based very serious positions on campus that I think will parlay itself into being the best leader possible.
For Lindsey, the campaign trail hasn't been without bumps, though. His campaign violated 3 election regulations, dorm storming on a restricted day, gathering signatures in the bottom of the pit, and sending a mass email to a group that was seen as a listserv. But Lindsey says the violations represent a bigger problem, the nitpicking nature of student government that discourages involvement and creates apathy.
That's right, I'm here with Will Lindsey. And Will, I talked to you yesterday and earlier this week, but how have you felt today and tonight, especially now that polls have closed?
Absolutely, I feel great. This has been an incredible experience, very humbling with all the support we've had. Wouldn't ask for a better team, better family, better supporters. It's been incredible. I'm really excited going into tonight, excited going forward. I'd love to keep the process rolling.
All right, great. And what are some of the things that you want to do with your platform if you are elected president to help keep tuition down?
Absolutely. Well, it really comes down to advocacy at every level. The state, Board of Trustees, Board of Governors. I'm going to create those networks to make sure tuition is really being advocated across the board.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for being with us here tonight.
Thank you.
Alex Avery, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Marilyn. Next up is Hatali Ladaya. She's a Chapel Hill native.
And a major part of her platform is making student government a better resource for students. John Daniels had the chance to talk with her.
Chapel Hill native Hatali Ladaya says she's eager to make student government an organization that is more valuable to students.
We need to be meeting students where they are and making sure that they see student government as something that's accessible to them.
She wants everyone to have the opportunity to be involved in the campus community. To do that, she plans to implement a student involvement survey for freshmen and transfer students.
Even with something like Fall Fest, it can be really difficult to sort of take in everything around you and make sure that you're getting involved with the things that you're really interested in.
Ladaya also says she looks forward to working with the incoming chancellor.
I think we can help them see what Carolina community and Carolina culture is and see how they can help foster that and grow it.
But most of all, Ladaya says she wants students to be heard.
This is your university, and it is your chance to have a say in how you think your university community, is represented on a broader scale.
And to be active members of the campus community.
Good evening, I'm John Daniels. I'm here with Hatali Ladaya. Congratulations for making it this far.
Thank you.
How do you feel tonight?
I mentioned to someone earlier that it's, you're feeling a lot of feelings. You're excited and you're nervous and you want to know what's going to happen, and you're above all just really, really thankful for all the support that's everyone's shown you up until now, and all the love and really the engagement that you've gotten to have with the Carolina community throughout this process. So a lot of different things.
Well, I have to say you are very positive about that and a true inspiration. Quick question, what is the most important thing that you feel needs to improve within the university?
I think that as a university community, we have so many things to offer students. I think the saying is that it's really easy to make a big school smaller and it's really hard to make a small school bigger. There are so many resources and opportunities and new things that students can try when they come to Carolina, but because it's so big, sometimes it's hard to find those. So I think making sure that the wealth of resources that we have access to here on campus is really, really easily accessible to students, that they can find what they're looking for no matter what it is or what it has to do with. I think that would allow us to really enhance the experiences of many, many members of the Carolina community.
All right, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for taking the time to answer our questions. Back to you all in the studio.
Thank you, John. And we've just received word that the election results should be here very, very soon, so stick with us.
But up next, Will Weimer joins us with sports and a look at the biggest game of the year.
Sit with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book could be the first thing helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Balance, suis la cadence. On est bien, t'es en
give up on sex, don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Thank you for calling your GED Pep Talk Center. All right, now are you ready for your GED Pep Talk?
Being nervous is okay. It just shows that you're serious about getting your diploma.
A lot of things are scary. Heck, I'm scared of clowns.
No quiero ir.
Danny, no lo puedo hacer.
DMC, life in your pep talk style.
Just keeping it real, Debs. Just keeping it real.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Special edition of Carolina Week. I'm Will Reimer. The election isn't the only thing going on campus tonight. Students are counting down the hours to tomorrow night's Duke-Carolina game. It's just about 23 and a half to my estimation right now. Cameron Indoor Stadium will be loud. There's no doubt about that. The crazies will be going, well, crazy. And Duke fans will be bringing their energy, and Coach Williams says his players better do the same.
Well, I hope it's not an issue. I mean, it is North Carolina playing Duke. If my team's not fired up tomorrow, then we'll send them all over to the morgue and see if they have enough boxes ready for them. My gosh. But we'll find out. That's what it is. But that's what you play the games for. And we will know a lot more at 11:30 tomorrow night.
And who will lead the Tar Heels into Durham? Senior guard Dexter Strickland. It's his 4th year of the Tobacco Road rivalry and his 4th game in Cameron, which he says is the most difficult place to play.
It's hard to stay focused, right? Well, for me as a senior, it's not, anymore, but, coming in as a freshman and as a sophomore, it was, by far one of the toughest gyms to ever play in. And, I like stuff like that, it motivates you to play even harder and motivates you to have more energy and, more sense of urgency, like I said, so.
Someone who might need that motivation and sense of urgency is first-year guard Marcus Page. It's his first Duke-Carolina game, and he knows what he has to do for the Heels to come out on top.
Yeah, I think that part of it is my responsibility, to get teammates open, get guys in sets and make sure everyone's comfortable and, composed. That's part of my job. I have to make sure I'm running the team, and if I get sped up or if I get out of control, then that's how the rest of the team's going to play. So it's important for me to, take control of the offense, the tempo, and everything like that early in the game.
And beating Duke always means a lot to Tar Heel fans, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just one game. Reggie Bullock says all of the remaining Tar Heel games are important.
Our confidence right now should be high. We need this win. We need all the wins for the rest of the season. And, we just got to go out and take it one game at a time, and we're just going to start off by Duke. That's our next opponent, so we just got to go out and just try to play hard and get a W.
They got to get a W in this game, but they got to get it, like you said, like Reggie said, they got to get a W in most, if not every single game. They can't take too many more losses, guys.
I was saying the same thing to one of my friends earlier, Will. Can we reasonably make the tournament without beating Duke at least once?
I mean, there are some other good games on the schedule. I mean, obviously State will be coming into town in a couple weeks too. We still have some good games left on the schedule, but I mean, after that performance down in Miami, we've really got to show the selection committee that we're worthy of being in there. Otherwise, it's a repeat of 2010.
And Duke is highly favored. Do you think North Carolina has a chance?
Well, I mean, they're highly favored for a reason, Avery. I mean, they've been playing well all year, and there's. This Carolina team is just hit or miss. We play a great game, and then we'll go down into Miami and really just struggle early on. And that's going to be the key to this Carolina game. We'll go into more on that tomorrow. But probably the biggest thing is that Carolina needs to get out. The Tar Heels, they need to get out and start hot and fresh. They need to get the Cameron Crazies out of the game as best they can, because they'll be loud and rowdy all night. But if Carolina cannot have a knockout punch, kind of get the fans out of the game, they might have a chance of winning. But if it's even or if they're down big like they were to State or Miami, they'll be in big trouble.
Well, we hope the best for the Heels, Will. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Will.
Stay with us. We have the election results coming very, very soon.
Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Thank you.
Millions of people are affected by disaster in America. And we're right there, providing food. With more than 200 food banks, reaching communities all across America. Donate now for immediate relief and long-term recovery. Every dollar helps provide food for disaster victims. Help now at feedingamerica.org.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on line. I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
She took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. And my next goal is to go to college. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Thank you for joining us on this special election night. Joining us again is Nathan D'Ambrosius. Nathan, what historically has the SBP been able to get done?
Well, you know, it's sometimes hard to tell because so much of what the student body president does is sort of soft power and convincing and talking. But then again, there are actual issues. But the problem is they're only in office for a year, so a lot of times there's a delay in what happens. Mary Cooper, for example, part of her platform a couple of years ago is having a flat rate taxi service throughout Chapel Hill. And that only was implemented January 1st. And obviously she graduated before that. So it's hard to tell sometimes just how much the student body president can get done. But as a team, him and her and their electoral or their executive branch can actually accomplish quite a few things.
Gotcha. Thank you, Nathan. We're going to keep Nathan here and continue asking him some questions about the SBP position. But right now we're going to go down and speak with Christy Lambden in the newsroom.
There you go.
So, Christy, what has been your favorite part about this election season?
Well, my favorite part by far has been getting to know the people on my campaign and getting to know the greatest student body. You know, the candidates are very much the face of the campaign and they're the ones that everybody sees out day to day. But I've had such a phenomenal campaign team working around me the last couple of weeks, and we've had a great vibe outside. You know, we've been dancing, we've been singing along. You know, I don't have any fear of dancing or singing in public anymore. And it was great to do that with the other candidates the other day as well. But overall, my favorite thing so far has been definitely getting to know my campaign team better and the students at Carolina better.
Now, if there's a runoff election, what's your campaign strategy for that?
You know, our campaign strategy is going to just be to try and reach out to as many people as possible coming up over the next week. Again, we're just going to look to try and have a lot of fun, talk to as many people as possible, get their input about where they want to see Carolina going in the future and how we can help them get there.
If you could have done anything different about your campaigning, what would that be?
You know, I think I'm pretty happy with where the campaign's at right now. I can't pinpoint any one thing. I've had a really great time. I've had a lot of fun so far, and I just want to thank everybody on the campaign for being so brilliant.
Now, you were endorsed by both the Young Democrats and the College Republicans, is that right?
Yes, that's right, as well as a couple of other organizations.
Did that surprise you? Are you proud of that?
That was excellent. It was really a shock to get both of them, but certainly a surprise and great moving forward.
Well, congratulations on that. Back to you guys.
Thank you. And Nathan, there's a lot of things changing at the university. A new chancellor, tuition may go up next year. What kind of things do you think that the new SBP will have to face in terms of challenges?
I think you've identified the theme of the challenge pretty accurately there, and it's change. We've got a new chancellor coming in, there's a new governor in Raleigh, and because I said so much of what student body president does is interacting with actors like that, she's really going to have to be able to sort of get acclimatized to a new system and a new host of characters that previous student body presidents haven't had to deal with. And then there's the constant issues, there's tuition, there's academic resources, there's always some things that come up. But I think the major challenge for this student body president is going to be dealing with this new set of challenges, which no one really has dealt with recently.
Great, thanks. And now we are going to go to Kevin Claiborne and Vanessa Martinez in the newsroom.
They're ready. So, Kevin, what are you going to do if you're not elected student body president? Like, how are you going to stay involved in this Carolina community?
Well, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of things on campus, especially with all the student organizations that I work with around the Gender Non-Specific Housing Campaign. So I think I have a wonderful opportunity to continue to uplift unheard voices and talk about issues on campus that people aren't really talking about. I think, not necessarily being somebody president doesn't stop that for me. I think I still have a wonderful capacity and a good network of students to tap into, especially when it comes to student power and student voices and working with a bunch of different student groups on campus.
So, Kevin, what inspired you to run for president? Yours was a story to tell.
Yeah, so I actually started my campaign 2 weeks before the election process, and I think that for me it was one of those things where a group of students on campus asked me to, and I couldn't say no. I think especially from the narrative that they provided, not necessarily having issues or having the platform to talk about these issues on campus really allowed me to feel comfortable with making this an opportunity, and I think we've had fun on the way there.
Thank you, Kevin. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Vanessa. Nathan, it's no secret that this university's been dealing with some scandals in the past few months, and of course, SBP involves so much with campus life. Can you give me an opinion on what you think about the trouble that's been going on at UNC this year?
Well, between the Title IX complaint and the Martin report and the academic and athletic scandal, it's really unclear what's happening in most of these issues, but the most important thing for UNC and the student body president is needing to get to the truth of it, needing to get what's actually happening in each of these instances. You can't just sort of accept and say, well, this is the definitive story, we're going to go with this because closure is good for closure's sake. That's not what the job of an investigation, the job of really answering any tough questions. The job is to get to the actual causes at bottom, because that's the only way you're going to fix anything. So that's what the student body president needs to sort of be cooperative in. He or she doesn't really have that much control over investigations like this, but it's important that they and the administration as a whole really take it seriously and really, do this sort of due diligence to get at what's happening.
Absolutely, absolutely. Truth is always so important. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're going to go back down to the newsroom and speak with Maryland and candidate Will Lindsay.
Right, and Will, we've talked a little bit about your involvement with both Carolina and with public service and how those are your passions. What are some of the specific things that you learned when working with the North Carolina state government that you plan to bring into Carolina if you're elected student body president?
Absolutely. Well, it's very much about being responsive to constituents, be that North Carolina citizens or university students. We have to be accountable to the people we serve.
All right, and how do you have a specific plan that will help make that accountability on the government ends be stronger?
Absolutely. I really do plan to engage every student leader on campus, whether their agenda be big or small, in the executive branch of student government to make sure that student government is more accountable and more accessible.
Great, and if you aren't elected student body president, what do you think that you'll do personally in terms of involvement with student government as well as with the North Carolina government?
Right, well, I'm currently chairman of the Carolina Advocacy Committee. We've already planned 2 legislative days in Raleigh, so we're already going to be advocating and lobbying for student interests regardless of the outcome of the election. I also plan to be very involved with state and federal government later on in life, regardless of what happens, so we'll see.
All right, what are those 2 days, do you have dates actually set?
February 27th and February 28th we'll be lobbying in Raleigh for the Carolina Advocacy Committee, so come on out.
All right, great, thank you. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Marilyn. And Nathan, what do you think is the most important issue of the campaign this year?
So historically, the student body president position hasn't really been driven by responding to individual issues. It's been sort of more of a management style and interaction style. But I guess if you had to pick one specific issue, it would be dealing with the new sort of governor in Raleigh and the new board of governors and board of trustees. They're always rotation. So really dealing with them and hammering out what's happening in the future. The board of governors is working on their 5-year strategic plan. So obviously who student body president is this year will have effects long beyond his or her term.
Great, thank you. And we're going to head to Rob Jones and Kiera Palmer in the newsroom.
Hi, I'm Kiera Palmer back here with candidate Rob Jones. Rob, a lot of people don't know that you're a transfer student. Can you talk about your experiences and how you plan to help transfers in the next coming semester?
Sure. So my first year I actually didn't get in as a Tar Heel, so I went down to Raleigh to go to NC State for a year. Very happy that I was admitted as a sophomore transfer. It's a hard transition period. You can ask mom and dad. Didn't do very well in the classroom during my first semester, but I think utilizing the resources we have here and creating a better mentorship program, meaning a transfer student that's already been through what you have, they can help connect you with those resources. I think the central hub that I've been preaching the last couple weeks will be really beneficial as well.
Let's talk about your leadership style. People don't really go into that. They just know they're going to be president. They don't talk about how they plan to do it with the team. How do you plan working on with your team next semester?
Right. So I think my leadership style has developed a lot through sports over the years, and I've talked about this in debates. It's the ability to motivate a team and lead with a purpose. And I think working with women's soccer and basketball is going to allow me to do that at a very, very good level this year. And I think making sure that we're updated each week, and I'm getting cut off right now, so I'm going to have to stop talking.
Well, good luck to you. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kiera. And the Board of Elections is on their way over right now. Real quick, Nathan, I know you're a political strategist, but be a sports guy real quick. Duke, North Carolina, who do you think's got it this year?
Well, y'all do ask the really hard-hitting questions, don't you? I gotta say UNC. Regardless of what the truth may be, I can't not say UNC.
Going with the Tar Heels?
Going with the Tar Heels.
I'm surprised by that, man. I'm surprised. We're going down now, live to the newsroom one more time with John and Hatali.
Hi, I'm John Daniels, and I'm back with Hatali Ladaya. Hatali, we've seen you in the pit, heavily campaigning, but we also know there were challenges with your campaign, and one of them, as we all heard, was the dorm storming violations. How do you feel that was handled? Do you feel that you did anything wrong or anything that you would change about what happened?
Well, I mean, the reality of this process is that there's a lot of rules, and we all do the best that we can to keep up with all of them and make sure that we're following them all the time. And sometimes you miss one, and I think that's what we saw is just, an honest mistake and misreading some of the rules. I think the most important part is that the fact that all of us walk in with the intention of following all the rules means that we're really walking in wanting to follow the spirit of campaigns and be very honest and open with everyone. So, whatever happened was definitely an honest mistake, and I think I'm still very proud of my campaign team and the spirit that they maintained.
All right, thank you so much. Back to you all in the studio.
Well, the votes were cast, the ballots were counted, and the results are finally in, Avery.
Now we'll head to the Carolina Week newsroom, where Board of Elections Chair Shruti Sundram will announce the results right after the break.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards.
Oh, don't. Okay.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay, here it comes.
Oh, no!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you. Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Thank you so much for sticking with us on this election special. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We're working to bring you the votes as fast as we can. We have the Board of Elections headed down to the newsroom right now to give us the final tally on, find out who should be the SBP this year.
Exactly. Not only will we find out who the SBP will be, but we'll find out about some other offices around campus that will be new faces in office on campus. So Shruti Sundram and the rest of the BOE is heading to the Carolina Week newsroom right now so we can hear all the results and see who our new SPP will be, along with tons of other student Congress positions as well. Yeah.
No matter what, I'm sure whoever is elected will do a great job this year as SBP, and I'm sure that they're just ready to know who is going to be the winner this year.
I'm sure our 5 candidates that we have here are definitely nervous. I remember being in the newsroom last year at the same time. And, I think that we are ready to hear the results.
Let's find out.
Exactly. Shruti Sundram and the rest of the BOE. Right after the break. Right after the break. Thanks.
One more break.
What you see, if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite. Unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Suis la cadence, on lève bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence. Dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou.
You didn't give up on sex, don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Thank you for calling your GED Pep Talk Center. All right, now, are you ready for your GED Pep Talk?
Being nervous is okay. It just shows that you're serious about getting your diploma.
A lot of things are scary. Heck, I'm scared of clowns.
No quiero oír. No lo puedo hacer.
DMC, life in your pep talk style.
Just keeping it real, Debs, just keeping it real.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Thank you for sticking with us on this very special edition of Carolina Week.
And we are finally going to the newsroom with Shruti Sundram and the rest of the Board of Elections with the election results for SPP.
Hi, everyone. We're here today to announce the results from today's election. We're going to start with Congress and work through all of those districts and then get on to some of the other offices. District 1 for 4 seats, we have Connor Brady, Jocelyn Burney, Peter McClelland, and Bennett Voss. District 2 with 1 seat is Cruz Maria Santibanez. District 3 with 3 seats, Will Stepflug, Ivy Hardy, and Parag Patel. District 4 with also 3 seats, Charles Collins, and then 2 runoff seats, which will be determined next week in the runoff election. District 5, 2 seats, Brittany Best and Connor Winters. District 6, 1 seat, Adam Norris. District 7 with 10 seats, John Kazin, Walker Swain, Austin Root, John Guzek, Anthony Ferreira, Stephen Deal, Andrew Barksdale III, Charles Green, Dushanth Biala, and Harrison Tooby. District 8 with 2 seats, Paige Comparado and Selena Holson, who also won a seat in the special election and will begin in Student Congress for the remainder of this year. District 9, all three of these winners also won in a special election and will take their seats for the end of this year's Congress are John O'Connor, Stephanie Malini, and Zach Ferguson. District 10, with 7 seats, only 5 of which were filled. Brittany Clark, Kizmikia Corbett, Laura Tolini, Viral Sarailia, and Andrew Lucas. And like I said, the other 2 seats will be filled in next week's runoff election. District 11, 5 seats, again, 2 of those will be filled in next week's runoff election. Charles Seguin, Michael Smollenberger, and Chris Voren. And both Charles and Chris also won a seat in the special election and will begin in Congress for the remainder of this year. Next, I'm going to do the 3 referenda that appeared on the ballot. The first one is the RHA referendum, which passed with 93%. The second is the Student Constitution referendum, which passed with 80%. And the third is the coal divestment referendum, which passed with 77%. And now for the final offices. RHA, which only had 1 contestant who won the seat, was Kendall Rose Nicosia Rusin. And GPSF, who only had 1 person running, she won the seat, Karen Bardwaj. Senior class officers are Georgia Walker and, we did not write her down, Georgia Walker and her partner. And CAA president, winning with 65% of the vote, is Allison Hill. And student body president will actually go into a runoff next week. The 2 top candidates won with respectively 36% and 21%, and those 2 candidates were Will Lindsay and Christy Lambden.
Well, congratulations to both Will Lindsay and Christy Lambden, who will be facing off in next week's runoff election. We're going to talk to both of those candidates live with Landon Dowdy right after the break.
Millions of people are affected by disaster in America. And we're right there, providing food. With more than 200 food banks, reaching communities all across America. Donate now for immediate relief and long-term recovery. Every dollar helps provide food for disaster victims. Help now at feedingamerica.org.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on line. I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
She took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. And my next goal is to go to college. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Welcome welcome back to Carolina Week. Thank you so much for sticking with us on this special election night. Congratulations again to Christy Lambden and Will Lindsay on making it to the runoff for SBP of this next coming year. Right now, we're going to go live to Landon Dowdy, who is with both the runoff winners.
Hi guys. First off, I just want to congratulate you guys. It has been such a close race, 36 and 20. Wow. Congratulations to both of you. What is running through your mind right now?
You know, I'm just delighted to be moving forward. It gives us another chance to get out and meet some more people this week. It means we're going to have to put in some more legwork for sure over the next week, but I'm really looking forward to the opportunity.
Wow, good. And down to 2 out of 5 candidates. That's a big deal. What's going through your mind right now? How does it feel to be the top 2 in the runoff?
Well, I'm very honored, very humbled by the support we've received. I knew that it's tough to tell when you see the endorsements, when you see the DTH, but we know, the Carolina community has really spoken that we're excited. We're excited to keep moving.
And it sure is close, 36 and 20. So what are your guys' plans and strategy for this next week coming up? Will you be stunting in the pit and dancing in the rain or anything? I saw you out there earlier in the week. What's the plan?
Again, it's just going to be a case of getting out, meeting some more people, showing people that I'm a real person. I'm not just faced with a British accent. I'm very much a real person, and just giving them the message and hoping that they believe in me.
All right, and what about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be about enthusiasm going into this week. I know people are probably tired of seeing us in the pit, but we're going to be out there. We're going to be really trying to meet as many people as possible, and I'm so honored and excited to keep moving forward next week.
All right, well, you guys keep up the good work. We're rooting for you, and congratulations for making this far. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Landon. Well, that does it for this special edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you for staying with us. Tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. for a recap of all the election results and a preview of the Big Duke game. Have a good evening.